What's up, guys? Been a long time. Don't really upload on this channel anymore, but I made a list. It's right next to me. Very simple. Uh, Learning to make my own music. Top 5 things that I would love. Uh, Advice I'd love to give to these people, guys or young ladies or anybody who goes from being like just a vocalist to writing their own music, and doing their own production and all that jazz. I'm paraphrasing. I got 5 things right here. Let's go. First thing is ask yourself why. Even like why. Simple. Ask yourself, why do you want to write music in the first place? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? When I started, I'm gonna use me as an example the entire time so that there's some kind of relatability here. When I started, I wanted to write a lot of like instrumental stuff, and I really just liked music in general. And I found that love and really understood that love at the very end of high school. And so obviously, like college and everything else wasn't for me. I was the kind of person that wanted to chase dreams and stuff, and music was something I always, I was in a band. I was in a band for a little bit and on another project. Um, but I was just a vocalist, so I was getting tired of just being a vocalist, and I just felt useless, honestly. So I wanted to do more than just be a vocalist. So, why not get a guitar and learn instruments? And over the years, ever since like 2014, after I graduated, I've been slowly like I have like my guitars in my room and everything like that, and I write my own stuff now, and it's cool. But a lot of times I would forget as time was going on, why am I doing it? And as the years just gone on, I know my why, and my why is to inspire. My why is to create something beautiful, especially because of life with me and things being difficult for me personally, but also just in general. Like I want just someone to like listen to my stuff or whatever, and I want to be able to inspire them to do it themselves, and to inspire anybody to do anything themselves, and really like I wouldn't say do it all yourself if you don't want to do that, but just like go after it. Like if you want to do it, then just you know pick up the instrument and try it out. Okay. Number 2. I'm terrible at this. Understanding what you're trying to do with music, right? So for me personally, um, I didn't really want to write any heavy music. I know it's fucking crazy. I'm not a vocalist, whatever. I didn't really want to write any heavy music. I really wanted to make sure that I wrote softer stuff. I really like math rock and post rock and orchestral music and stuff. Anime soundtrack, just soundtrack in general. I love just like instrumental music. But I got a 6-string guitar, and I was like, well, I can try to write a little bit of like rock or post hardcore and stuff. Put my vocals to fucking use, right? And I found a free drum library online, so I used Reaper for a bit and programmed some drums, learned how to do that myself, and pretty hard process. But the point is that I started out making soft stuff, dabbled in heavy stuff, and basically like I've been doing both for a while. And for me, the whole thing was I just want to write music. I don't care about joining a band. I don't want to play live. It's too much of a fucking hassle. It's too much to do in terms of making a career out of it. It's just I've tried that. I've been there, done that. I don't care. Like, and that was just kind of what it was. I don't, and I've always said this the entire time, is I don't care what level I'm at. I don't care how many people notice me. I don't care what people look at me as or anything. I just want to put out music that I think can reach someone and help someone, but also music that's challenging for me, that pushes me, that helps me grow as a person, but also a musician as well. And just like, have that healthy, like kind of musician-esque thing where you're always trying to progress and really do the damn thing, regardless of status or anything like that, or even attention you may get or what other people think. Just keep trying to grow in terms of your skill or your trade. So yeah, understanding what you're trying to do with music, that's a good thing that you need to establish early on so you don't get lost in your journey. Yeah, I really am terrible at this. Number 3, biggest thing I'll tell you, and it comes with a story. Never fucking expect perfection when you just start. When I just started writing music and everything, I wasn't very like much of a perfectionist, but I definitely didn't know where to start. There's a lot of videos out there on how to play guitar and things you should learn and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is this. I just wanted to get going. I wanted to get momentum going. I want to start writing. So I learned all the basic things I could learn. I learned like chugging. I learned how to form basic open chords. I learned how to do bar chords, and I learned how to switch from chord to chord and stuff like that until I found a play style that worked for me. That wasn't too difficult, but still I could write something and use it in a way to get some momentum going. If you want to take the route of having a teacher, and to have structure with your learning, no problem. You can do that. But nothing I did early on was perfect. A lot of the songs and a lot of the stuff I wrote early on was not perfect. I look back at my stuff from 2015 or 2016 on to 20, like, really those 2 years, 2016 and 17 were like the early years when I really started doing it, and it was tough and it was rough and it wasn't that polished compared to what I put out now. So I had a buddy early on, and he was saying like, "Oh yeah, well, you shouldn't put anything out unless it's fucking perfect, like blah blah blah." And I realized after my first year, where I barely released any music, I realized that's fucking stupid. Not because, um, not because, not because it's dumb or anything. Like, it's a good mindset to have, but because like when you just start, nobody cares about you, or like you need to make sure that you put something out so you can get feedback. Good feedback, bad feedback, any feedback is feedback, right? And so if you're so worried about it being perfect, you're not gonna get anywhere if you're just hiding it all. I hate artists that sit there and say, "Oh, I'm in the lab and I'm working." Okay, you're working, but what the fuck are you doing? We don't hear nothing. We don't know your potential. We don't hear it. We don't see it. We don't even post content. You don't post videos of you doing nothing. So what are we really talking about here? What are we doing? So, right. Don't expect perfection when you first start, but as you, progress, then tighten up all those deficiencies, really hone in on what you're good at, and you'll get there, or at least you get to a place where you feel comfortable, right? Number 4, have realistic expectations and goals for your music. So if you are trying to create music to one day be in a band, maybe write like some demos, write an EP on your own, or stuff like that. And then maybe if you can find members around in your area or different places, you guys can get together, figure that out, and start jamming and teach them the parts, or they can learn the parts or whatever. I wouldn't say don't set your goals too high, but be realistic. When I didn't sell any of my EPs early on, I felt like a fucking failure, even though I knew that I wasn't going to sell much because I was still trying to just figure out life, and I didn't really care about all that. But I was realistic. I really didn't care about being in a band or being huge. Despite me, having the writing ability, I just didn't care about all that stuff, and I still don't really care. It'd be nice to do, but I don't care. But it's good to understand that early on, to have those realistic expectations. And if you know what you need to do, and you want to be in a band, and you want to start a project or something, there's ways and steps you can take, and you may have to find those steps and find those ways on your own. But it's just good to know that early on, and just don't set your expectations too high, but be, like I said, realistic about your goals and where you want to go and how you want to go about, handling all that. Because it's very daunting at first. And yeah. Okay. Number 5. I have literally just buzzed through all these. Number 5, biggest thing, and I'm fucking like almost 6 years into doing this shit. Okay. Never stop learning and having fun. So I was learning pretty heavily in 2015, 2016. Let me tell you what happened. Okay. I stopped trying to learn and really get better with things in 2016 because I had a formula already kind of there and already kind of established. So I just stuck to my formula, and I had my setup all ready to go finally after years, and I was good. Now, the problem with that is the fact that I, how do I put this? I wrote, so my writing ability is solid. I understand how to write my songs in my way, and I know like I just understand how to write music well for me personally. And so I felt like, well, I don't need the ability because what's the point? Like I don't need to learn more or do more. I don't need to keep doing all this stuff. Like what's the reason? Um and the reason is like at a certain point you're gonna realize, oh fuck, like my writing's getting stale. Oh fuck, like I'm really not getting anywhere. And it's good to always seek out to learn something. Maybe it's your favorite riff. Maybe it's something. Maybe you write like a little piece, and you want to try that. You want to try like translating that on piano. Or maybe you want to learn how to use bass in your songs more. Maybe you want to learn how to implement drums a little bit better, write drums better, right? There's all these different ways you can learn these different skills and things that you could do in your music, but you have to be willing to learn. You have to understand how you learn as well. And when you stop that process, you start to become bored. You start to feel like everything is pointless. What you've done up to that point is pointless, and it becomes this very like nihilistic kind of thing. And you don't want to lose your love for something that you started, especially when you know in your heart and soul you love it. So that's the biggest thing. Is like never stop like learning, never stop growing, never stop searching for things you can work on and things that you can really get better at, because there's always something as a musician that you can get better at, always. Um, and I definitely learned that a lot, and I'm going through that right now. I mean, I've decided to take a whole like 2 years off of writing music, and like in 2020, this is my second year of kind of my off phase, but I'm still writing. I'm actually gonna put out an EP this year just to kind of get like something out anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Um, that's just kind of like a good thing to have. Hopefully, with all five of these things I mentioned, and hopefully this video wasn't too shitty. I talked about it and I made sense. I know some of them are kind of the same, like asking yourself why, understanding what you're trying to do, kind of the same topic. But I kind of hope that like this gives you a little bit more insight. I will say this though, if you, and this is just for people that like, whether you're a drummer going to play guitar, or you're a guitarist going to play drums, you're a vocalist starting to write their own music in general, I'll say this, and I'm being dead ass honest right now. If you take the like commitment, and if you take the hard ass grind that you put in to doing that first skill, which is vocals or drums or whatever you started with, and you put that in to the next thing you can learn, you can do damn near anything you fucking want. And that is very important. It's not just about I hate being that fucking person that says, "Oh my God, you gotta work hard and hard work." And no, but really, it really is the time that you put in to get better at your craft, because ultimately it is your craft, right? Like you have to decide what you want to do. You have to decide your way about going about this, but it's your journey and it's what you want to do, if that is what you decide to do. So you need to take it, seriously, and you need to go about making sure that you understand like the process and the steps it's going to take, even if it takes a long time. Okay. So I'm going to edit this down. I hope that it's helpful. If it's not helpful or whatever, let me know. Haven't uploaded on this channel in a long ass time, but I do want to upload some more stuff. I'm having a hard time figuring out what that is, whether it's vocal covers or anything else. But yeah, you guys have a good one. I'm glad to be back. I can't talk today. Peace, y'all.